Everything around us is falling. Structures that we used to be able to rely on, they served us to some degree, but we are in a place of breakdown for a breakthrough. And
Mhm.
high achieving women, we need to stop and get really real. Like what COVID did for us, like it was the massive, you have to stop because the world is
Because we
stopping.
had to, we had no choice, right? Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
so now it's the great pause that we get to choose, or it will be chosen for us through health crisis, through relationship crisis,
Mm,
mental health crisis. If we don't just stop and say, okay, I got to realign,
mm.
then we just get taken away with the chaos of the
Yes.
world.
Hello, amazing humans, and welcome to episode number 307 of the Game On Girlfriend podcast. I'm so happy you're here today. I am calling in all Gen X women. You know who you are. I'm one of them too. Let's freaking go. We are the ones who were the latchkey kids, even if we weren't latchkey. You know what I'm saying, right? We kind of raised ourselves. We had these incredibly powerful mothers who were trying to break through some of the barriers that women had experienced up until that point. We had different examples in the media of women who were really working hard to have it all. There was one massive key ingredient missing, though. And today's guest, Dr. Kelly, is going to talk to us about exactly what that ingredient is. And spoiler alert, it has to do with feminine power. Now, this conversation has to be, honestly, I feel like I say this often, but this is really one of my most favorite conversations on this podcast. And the reason being, we are at such an incredible point as humans on this planet right now. We look at society, we look at what's happening to the institutions that are starting to fail faster and harder. We're looking at our relationship with gender, we're looking at our relationship with money. And as women in this specific age group, I know it's affecting all women, but because we had this example of kind of turning ourselves into men in order to be heard and seen, you know what I'm talking about? Like getting super tough, being aggressive, fighting against other women, fighting so hard to get our point of view across because we had to fight hard to get our point of view across, right? And now that we're in this position, what's next for us? How are we going to 10x not only what we're making financially, though, yes, let's do that, but also our impact in the world? How are we going to 10x our own messages? How are we going to 10x our own voices? And what's next for you inside of this journey of the divine feminine, inside of a world that is increasingly more bro hustle? Dr. Kelly Martin Schuh is a transformational thought leader, speaker, and trainer in embodied feminine leadership and nervous system integration. She's a force of nature for visionary leaders exhausted from the hustle and the grind. She helps women move from pressure to presence through the grace codes, her framework for leading with grace, not grit. As the founder of the Gen X 10X movement, Dr. Kelly is creating a new lineage of embodied feminine leaders, women who lead with authenticity, alignment, and grace. And she is also the co-author of Peak Performance Mindset Tools for Leaders. In today's podcast episode, she shares the 4 steps to those grace codes. She goes through how they came to her, how she pulled them in towards her own life to 10x her own business and her own impact. And you guys, this is a real life learning example experience you're going to have today. This is not some esoteric idea somebody had once. This is like lived experience and how it impacted her life and how she wants to share it with you so that you can listen to this podcast episode and immediately start taking action towards 10xing your own life. So pop in those earphones and let's get to it. Dr. Kelly, welcome to the Game On Girlfriend podcast. Boy, am I excited to talk to you. You have no idea. So excited.
I'm so excited too.
I cannot wait to dive into this with you. This is going to be like one of those episodes where I'm like, we could talk for another 3 hours. But before we jump into all the gooey goodness that you have ready for us, we got to know. We got to know. There is so much you could have done with your life. There's so many different ways you could have taken everything that you've learned and with your incredible history, all the things that you've done. Why, out of all of the things that you could have done with your one and only life, why is this what you've chosen to do with your life?
First off, I would say it chose me, right? I think that some of the greatest
Mm.
things that happen in life, it's not of our choosing, it's being chosen. And so I would say that's my big why is that it's bigger than me. It's absolutely bigger than
Mm.
me.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'll take you back in time of some pivotal moments. and give you the high level. And there's lots of story around big mountains and sickness and illness and worthiness. And so I'll try to give you the high level because as you said, we could probably talk for hours over coffee about this.
I believe you. I
Yeah,
believe you. Yes.
exactly. Exactly. Growing up, I always knew I wanted to be a doctor. And
Okay.
my mother was a nurse. And so I can remember being as a kid playing with that nurse's cap and being like, I want to be a doctor. And then somewhere along the way, I realized like how people in pre-med, in my experience, I went to CU, that it seemed like it was more about prestige, quite honestly, as opposed to
Mm.
being about people. And so like early on, I was like,
Mm.
I don't know, is this a profession? I don't really know. I felt a little lost. I went, when I graduated CU with a degree in psychology, I wanted to travel the world and wasn't ready to go right into the next step. And so I went on a great trek to find myself. And long story short, my sister went backpacking with me, like the typical, let's backpack Europe. And 3 weeks in, back then, we didn't have cell phones, and she got a call from back home. She
Oh,
checked in back home, and she had gotten a position doing a course line. She's in musical theater. And she had to leave, like to go follow her dreams.
oh my God, I
And
just got
so,
chills.
yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, she's 5 years older. And so she thought little sister was going to come home back to the States. I'm like, no, I'm going. And fast forward, I found myself on a mountaintop, Annapurna Base Camp in Nepal, of all places, because I
Mm.
followed my dreams. And I got reconnected with that no, I do want to be a doctor. And there was this huge storm that came in. It dropped about 5 feet of snow
Wow.
in December of all times in Nepal. And every morning the Sherpas would come in and they would dig us out of the little room that I was staying in. And
Ah,
I reconnected to this doctor thing. And I was like, I'm going to go back home and I'm going to figure this out. And then fast forward, there's just so many fast forwards here. But I was working for a doc and it was a urologist at the time. And I had some blood come out up in my eye. And I freaked out. And
I'm
I was like,
sure.
oh my gosh. And looking at the records, this gentleman that we had done surgery on, I hadn't done the surgery. I was a tech, had hepatitis.
I knew you were
And
going to
I'm
say
thinking, oh my
that.
gosh,
Oh,
do I really want this like emergency medicine, like women's health?
oh,
What am I putting myself into?
yeah.
I've had many resets, but I went to the internet and it clicked out chiropractic as a viable profession that you can have work-life balance. And so that's how chiropractic found me. Then fast
Wow.
forward, because you said I could share. I'm going to share the story.
Yes. Share away, sister. Share away.
So fast forward, I'm pregnant with my child and I got really sick. I had a successful chiropractic business following that dream and I was bedridden for a year. And that was my wake up call to my
Oh,
relationship with time. If I don't get my hands on people, I don't make any money.
wow. Okay. I got it. That must
And
have
I
been
was
very
like,
humbling. Yeah.
very humbling. Totally, who am I if I'm not a doctor? And now I'm
Yeah.
going to be a mom and who am I and how does this all work? And I was really sick. And so that was the wake up call to wanting to better leverage my time and have more impact in the world. And there was this thing called the internet, even back in 2010. The
I heard
internet.
about that. I heard about that thing.
Do
Yeah.
you hear about that? Yeah. And so that was really the turnaround. I never went back full time to chiropractic. I got into checking all the boxes
Mm.
for success around starting a coaching business. I wrote a book. I created a community. 5 years in, I was broke, not broken. And a dare from my coach said, I dare you to double my rates, double your rates. And I was $130,000 in debt. And my relationship
Oh.
with money was like, just give, 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 give to everybody, but not so great at receiving.
Mm.
And so I took on that dare, tripled my business. And that's the story of worthiness that has just come through my world. And so I took a 50K a year business, turned it into 150K. And it was that internal journey of feeling worthy.
It's
And
everything.
it's everything. And
God, it
so,
really is.
yeah, this is really a core of my life. And I didn't work any harder that year. I just aligned with feeling worthy and my success blueprint. And I continue to do so and teach women this grace over grit model. Like it's not about hustling more.
No.
It's about alignment. It's all about alignment. And it always has been.
I'm gonna cry from happiness right now. Oh my God, that is like the best. What a great story. And I love the highlight there being I didn't work harder.
I
That,
didn't work any harder that year.
wow,
In fact,
just
one
makes
might
me so
say I
happy.
even worked less because I doubled my rates and tripled my business and created some white space in my schedule. I also did the tough mutter. I'm like, I'm going to get my inner athlete back on. Right?
Wow. Wow. Okay, hold on. Wait. Okay, because that is so good. But there is a juicy nugget in there that I just have to just pluck out for a second.
Get it there, girl.
What happened? Like, where was, how do I want to ask this question? How was that shift possible in you? Was there a
Yeah.
moment
Hmm.
of worthiness? I heard you, God bless coaches. I know that's
Yes,
self-serving of me to say, but God
I
bless
know.
coaches,
I know.
challenges, and you
Yeah.
never know. That's what I love about
Yeah.
coaching. There can be one comment, one moment when
One
everything
moment.
shifts and you never know when it's going to be.
Yeah.
But was there a moment for you where the worthiness understanding flipped? Was it an
Yeah, it
experience over
absolutely did.
time? Okay, tell me. I'd
No,
love to
no.
know
So
what
it
that
was the
is.
dare. The dare was the flip. The dare was the
Okay.
turnaround. The dare was my husband was like, girl, you got to go back to chiropractic because this is not sustainable. Like we're having a tough time paying our mortgage and we're
Right.
$150,000 in debt and it's a wake up call.
Yeah.
Even though I
Yeah.
loved my life as a coach. So when my coach dared me, that was the turning point. And the very next thing I did, I signed up for a Tough Mudder because if we don't have our health, we have nothing.
You're
And I wanted
here.
a big health challenge. And then the second thing is I build out what I now do with women. It's called the Worthiness Triad. And it's creating a new 10x identity. Like who you've been up to this point will not take you to your 10x
Preach on it.
without the loss of everything else, your health, your
Mm,
relationships, all the things. So I literally created a roadmap that I now train women in, but I had to do it for myself first. Who is this back then six-figure woman? Who is she? How
hmm.
does she think? How does she relate to things? Like, what are some of her beliefs? What baggage does she need to let go of? And now with the technology, we're learning if you want a 10x, not the old masculine bro style, like work harder, 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 harder.
Insert eye roll. Yes.
Yes. And if you want to do it with grace, which is more like I say women love to go, 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 grow, 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 but they're missing the third step. Slow, slow, slow.
Yes.
Yes.
Got it. I love it.
We got to get in alignment with a new version of our best self.
Mm, mm. I just got so happy. I'm like
Yay.
tearing up a little bit right now. I'm like literally tearing up a little bit right now. That is so beautiful. And God, it's so funny we're having this conversation right now. I have to be so honest with you, Dr. Kelly. This whole week, like every single one of my one-on-one clients, actually, and the women in the Abundance Academy, we've had conversations about dropping this hustle culture in a new way. Like I always talk about it, but I
Yeah.
feel like something's shifting
No, it's the
really
medicine. We
profoundly,
have to.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
And you
seems
know what?
deeper right now than it has
It,
been before.
you're spot on. Okay, let's just be real. And I'm an eternal optimist, but everything around us is falling.
That,
And the
yeah.
old structures that we used to be able to rely on, they served us to some degree, but we are in a place of breakdown for a breakthrough. And
Hmm.
high achieving women, we need to stop and get really real. Like what COVID did for us, like it was the massive, you have to stop because the world is
Because we
stopping.
had to, we had no choice, right? Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
so now it's the great pause that we get to choose, or it will be chosen for us through health crisis, through relationship crisis,
Mm,
through mental health crisis. If we don't just stop and say, okay, I got to realign,
hmm.
then we just get taken away with the chaos of the
Yes.
world,
Distracted by the
distracted and
chaos of the world. Yeah.
disconnected.
Yeah.
And I also think it's time we need to lean into our sisters. There's something about the energy of the divine feminine.
Hmm.
It's not about competition,
No, no,
it's
it never
about
was. That's a
collaboration.
male thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's time to get really vulnerable and really real with our sisters and create something new. And that can only be done through that internal alignment. I use human design as a success blueprint, get you back in alignment.
Mhm.
It's one of the tools that I use, but it's going to require us to get really vulnerable and really uncomfortable so that we can have the breakthroughs,
Agreed.
or else we're
Agreed.
just numb.
I could not agree more. And I think what we're doing too is almost, I love that you called it the great pause. I feel like it's the great shedding. Like
Yes.
all of the institutions and paradigms that have not really been working,
Yep.
that we're just shedding them. And I almost feel like this extraordinary feminine power coming forward. I've really been feeling this, I would say the last 6 months of just this power
It
of
is.
femininity, but it's quiet and it's still and it's calm and it is unshakable and it's
It is
gorgeous.
unshakable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is, I talk about the energies. Like
Hmm.
we do need masculine energies, the
100%.
structure, the strategies, the container. But most of the women that I'm here to serve, it's like we've overdeveloped the masculine model and we have forgotten our intuition. We have
Yes.
forgotten like how powerful we are. And going back to, I think I share with you, I call it hashtag power amnesia. Think of how powerful you are, like what got you to this point. And women need to remember that and
Agree.
haul back their power.
Yes.
And it's a deep remembering. It's like a coming home.
It is. It is. And I really appreciate what you said about the masculine energy too. I think as I've noticed this rise in the feminine power, I think my perspective on the masculine has
Yeah.
really shifted in that when there is true masculine energy in the face of
Yeah.
that divine feminine, right? It is like that masculine energy pours into the feminine energy and actually holds
Does.
it at a higher level when it's done
Absolutely.
well. When we empower men to empower women to empower, when we allow
Oh,
that cycle
it
to come through. Yeah, it's
abs
beautiful.
it is so beautiful. And
Yeah.
so this leads me into what I now call my grace codes. And there was this huge activation of it. So I've been training women and men in this for years. This is not a new
Mm,
idea. I just had a different name for it.
okay.
Now I'm calling it the grace codes because it literally is, it's a vibrational activation for your 10x living and it only has 4 steps. And so I just got back from Africa
Well, hi,
where,
welcome home. Yes.
thank you. I was there for 3 weeks and
Wow.
I took a group of visionary leaders to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. And it was a climb with a cause, and we raised 40,000 to build a school for children in Tanzania. So this is like 10x impact. And this was my initiation into what would it look like if not only were we aligned, but then we could create that impact in the world with whatever moves our hearts, whatever it is,
Mm,
that social impact. So for some women, it's women and children. For some women, it's save the oceans. For some women, it could be a number of things. But when we are resourced and aligned with these grace codes, like magic happens. So anyway, I got to tell you, because we're talking about release and letting go. Release is the one of and the first activation in the grace codes.
okay.
And I had a profound moment. Mount Kilimanjaro, for those who don't know, it's the highest freestanding mountain in the world. It
Mm,
hovers at over 19,000 feet. It's a big
that's
mountain.
cheese. Wow.
It's
No
a big mountain.
oxygen, people. No oxygen.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's like,
exactly.
whoo.
And yeah, so here I am. So to give you a little background, it takes 8 days to do this route.
Mm,
And we're on summit day. And summit night, it actually is a night. You go to eat dinner at about 5 o'clock in the evening. And then they wake you up. They say, go to bed because we're going to wake you
okay.
up at 11 p.m. to have breakfast and you're going to start hiking it at midnight.
Holy
So imagine
cannoli.
this.
Holy cannoli. Okay.
Okay. You're climbing this big, big, big mountain. And we were about 5 hours in. And
Okay.
there's a full moon lighting the way. And I had just seen this, the sun is starting to rise. And I actually saw this beautiful shooting star. It was like this
Mm,
magical moment of grace. And the one of the gals, so here's the rule. The rule is when woman has to go to the bathroom, we all stop.
that makes
And
sense.
so one woman's, hey, I need a little break. And so we all go to stop. And the guide comes up to me about 5 hours in on a 7 hour hike. And the guide comes in and he says, Dr. Kelly, why don't you let me take your pack? No, 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 I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm feeling strong. Everything's good. No, I don't need you to take my pack. And I look around. Every single woman had surrendered her pack to the team.
Mm,
And
mm,
I was the only one still carrying it. And I had this moment of reflection. What's the point of the climb? Is it to climb to the summit with a backpack? Or is it just to climb to the summit?
mhm.
And I realized, and it wasn't ego as much as it was like a repellent of receiving support.
of support. I was just going to say that.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Only self-recognition over here, raising my hand. But
Right?
yes. Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and then I'm so he could tell because it's also high altitude, so your brain isn't
Not
as
functioning. No. Yeah.
it's a little
Yeah.
in fairyland. And then he said he looked at me again with that like masculine authority power
Mm, mm.
in a very loving way. He said, Dr. Kelly, let me take your pack. And I got full body chills
Yes.
and I handed that pack over.
Yes.
And what I realized is what are the burdens that we carry as powerful women?
Mm.
And we're carrying all the burdens of everybody else's needs and all
Oh,
of this weight and all of our unprocessed grief and unprocessed trauma.
yeah.
And people are saying, hey, let me help you. But you know what? If you want to 10x, it's time that we say, yes,
Mm,
please. Will you please help me?
mm.
Because we can't climb to that mountain. It took 28 individuals to get 5 women to climb. We need a village if we
Wow.
want to go 10x. And
Oh,
we have
wait. Oh, whoa, back up. Say that again. It took 28.
28 porters and guides to get 5 women to climb.
Mm,
It takes a village to go 10x.
mm. I just pictured the army of support that can be
Yes.
behind each one of us if we actually allow it.
Yes. And
So
call it
powerful.
in. But
Yeah.
we have to release of the old way
Mm.
of being where we repel support and we say, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm strong.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. I'm sorry. My
that's
mind is
one
reeling right now on how many times I did that yesterday. Whoa. Wow. That is so powerful, Dr. Kelly.
exactly.
Thank you for that. That's
You're
really
welcome.
beautiful. And what a great illustration of the actual act of not releasing.
Yep.
It's like, oh my God, just unburden yourself for a hot second so you can just
Unburden
feel,
yourself. I'm getting
right?
chills now because it's like,
Yeah.
could I've made it to the top of that mountain? Hell yeah, I could have.
Right.
Literally, I did feel strong. But then you know what? After reflection, like in journaling, you know what I remember?
Tell
I
me.
was talking to another guide who was working with one of his clients. And this guy's O2, his oxygen saturation. So if you don't know what that is, it's like we all should be functioning at really high 90s, like the oxygen moving through our blood should be really high. And when you climb high altitude, it drops naturally. And we have these like safe zones of what's safe and what's not safe. And this guy was climbing at what physiology would say was a very unsafe. And I said, how did you know? He goes, we do check, and they do check your pulse ox. And he said, one of the things that we'll notice is people will start to look drunk on the
Yes.
mountain
Yes.
because there's hypoxia. The brain doesn't have the oxygen. And you know what I realized upon reflection? I was weaving, but I had forgotten that I was weaving. So I think that guide came to me like, she
Lady.
needs help. But
Yes.
my interpretations, I'm strong. I feel great. Everything's great. But when are we weaving in the dark and we don't even realize it? And we are so overwhelmed.
Yes.
It takes somebody else to say, no, you need support.
Yes. Yes. And to actually hold up a mirror enough for us to recognize how much extra we're taking on and we think that's fine.
And this is what we do as women.
100%. The
We need to
overfunctioning.
stop it.
Yeah. I know the overfunctioning. I mean, it really does. It damages our capacity for earning. It
It
damages our
does.
ability to feel safe. It damages our ability to be creative. It damages our ability to tap into anything that wants to come through
Exactly.
and that we're here to give. It can really deplete us of what we need in order to get all that done. Oh my God, I'm so excited right now. I might die dead. This is awesome. So hold on. With all of this going on, all of us needing to recognize where we need support and or listen when someone offers, right? And to
Exactly.
actually allow that in, just real personal before I get to our next question. But I would say the last 6 months of my life, honestly, I have learned how to receive at a new level, and it was intentional and focused, but I am stunned at how much I would not receive anything from being at a stoplight, four stop signs, right? And someone saying, no, you go first. I'd be like, no, you, right?
No, you.
That tiny bit of not
Yes.
receiving or someone holding a door open. No, oh my gosh, the amount of times and ways in which I would not allow other people to contribute to me. And the study I've done on me personally over the last 6 months, I can't tell you how much this conversation means to me as a human on planet Earth right now, as a
Exactly.
woman on planet Earth right now, how much we can all learn to receive more and to hear when someone says, I'm here to help. when someone
Absolutely.
says, I can
And
do this
you're
with
already
you.
tuning
Yeah.
in. There's
Yeah.
4 activation codes in the
Okay.
grace, and you just named the 4th one. So the first one is release it. You got
Okay.
to let go so that the hand can open. You can't grab anything with a closed hand. And we're
Right.
all so holding on tight to what we know because even though it might be really uncomfortable, we know it. And
Yes.
so we hold
It's
on tight.
familiar.
It's
Yeah.
familiar.
Yeah.
But going through the 4 steps, the last one is actually that feeling worthy of receiving, and it's deep, deep divine surrender.
Mm,
And
mm.
so you're already tuning in, and all 4 have an R. Do me tell you what all of them are?
Please do. I was just going to say, can we please learn all four? Can we? Can
That's
we? Huh?
all exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So these are the grace codes that we activate women in. So we already talked
Okay.
about release it, and they also follow the chakras.
Oh, great.
Release
Okay.
it, release it for chakra. It's where we feel safe. It's our relationship to money. It's
Mm.
our relationship to going got Maslow's law. Are we
Are
safe?
we safe? Yeah.
Safe. So the release is that willingness to release the old ways. The next step, it goes up into more third chakra, our personal power.
Mm.
And this is, remember, I talked about the power amnesia that we all have. We have forgotten how powerful we are. Because as high achieving women, what do? We climb a big mountain, we hit the top, we summit, and we go to what's the next mountain? What's the next
That's
mountain?
right.
We don't
That's right.
celebrate. We forget how powerful we are. So it's whoa, 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 slow down and let's call that power back. And so I have many techniques to do this. But the second activation is to reclaim it. And you got to reclaim your personal power.
Okay.
It's a reclamation.
I
And it
love
goes back
that.
generationally, because
Ugh.
often our mamas and our grandmothers and our great grandmothers weren't acknowledged for how powerful they were. So it goes beyond just you,
Yeah.
right? And it's generations for you. So if you have little girls, right, reminding
Yes.
them how powerful they are. So anyway, so that's the second one. The third one is rewrite it. So we've got release it, reclaim
Okay.
it, rewrite it, rewrite a new storyline.
Mm.
And so we bring women through a beautiful process, a very healing process. We're in the heart chakra now. And
Mm.
that heart gets to recalibrate to love and to a new journey, the sheer rose journey. So it's a new story, right? And
Love.
we dive in and we recreate that from the quantum. And then the last one, you already tuned into it and have been tuning in for the past 6 months, is where you let go and you let God, or you let spirit, or you let the divine, or whatever you want to call it, but you surrender and receive it. And knowing that there's an innate worth in you that's worthy of all your dreams, all your goals.
Mm.
And there's this place of this or something better. But
Mm.
there's no hustle in it. There's no
Mm.
hustle in it. In fact, if you try to make it happen, you resist it, you push it away.
Mm-hmm. I get that. I
So
get that
those are the
100%.
4
It's
R's.
almost like I keep hearing the word allow as you're talking, right?
The
Like it's
art of allowing.
allowing. Yeah, and
Yes.
that is one both incredibly feminine, right?
Mhm.
But you have to do it from a place of power and a place of understanding. I love that you use the word surrender. It's one of my favorite words, which is funny because it has such a negative connotation in our society. But the idea that
Yes.
I love that what you said, like it's either this or better. This idea that maybe we surrender our little tiny ego brain versus all of the
Yes.
powers that be, right? Like maybe we sit that down for a hot second and recognize there might be something way bigger on the way if,
Exactly.
if
That
we can
we
just allow it. Yeah.
exactly. And I would say of all 4 steps, the 4th one is the hardest for most women
Mm,
because they've been conditioned to make it happen, right?
yes.
Just do
Yes.
it, Nike. Just do
Yes.
it, just do it, just do it. And most of us are in too much action.
No question. We're in such that masculine world, right? The bro hustle culture that you and I both call it that, right? Like that
Yes.
go, 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 go. And was as I was mentioning, this has just been coming up so much with clients lately, but also I think for us, we can collapse worthiness and productivity, right? We're
Oh,
only worthy if we're
absolutely.
super productive.
Girl, I got to tell you what happened last night.
Tell me everything.
I
I can't
can't
wait
tell
to
you
hear this.
everything.
Come
No,
on.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
All
So
right, we'll
what
lay it all
happened
out.
last night?
We'll lay it all out. My daughter is like waking up to certain things, one of which is that she realizes this came out of her mouth. I'm like, okay, I'm doing some good parenting or something. She says, Mama, I realized that I put my worth in my grades.
Yes, sister. Oh my God. Were you like, I win?
And I
It's
was
like,
like,
as a mom, I just won. I just won.
right?
Like,
And I was like,
wow.
okay, I must be doing something
Wow.
right. And you know what? I said, and it was on the heels of she's in this AP history class and it's really hard.
Yeah.
And she got her first low score, I think, of her whole life. She's like a straight A kid. She was the kid that I was of like, you got to get the pressure comes from the inside, not from parents.
Yes.
That overachiever of, I got to get straight A's. I got to get straight A's. And I said, sweetie, you're a lot like your mama. And I said, you know what? As you grow up, you know what your mama did? Your mama put her worth on money in the bank account and feeling that
Mm.
if the money was in the bank account, I'm worthy and successful. But if it's not, I'm doing something wrong and I got to work harder. And I said, I don't want you to fall into the same rut I have. So let's start by realizing it's all about awareness. She even used the word awareness. She goes, I think I'm becoming more aware. And I'm like, she's 15. And I was like, if
Love this
she can
kid.
get this at
Yeah.
15,
I love this kid.
right?
Yeah.
Yes. And
Yeah.
so it was a beautiful generational healing for both of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, I don't have it perfect. I still sometimes do it.
Of course, we all do. And I think we always will. But again, the awareness is everything, right? And the
Yes.
fact that at 15, she's already planted that, I was thinking the same thing you said is like, that's a generational healing
It's a
because at
generational healing.
15, to get that and
Yep.
to start to disconnect it now,
Yep.
hello,
And I was like,
hello,
girl, you are worthy because you are worthy
because
because you are worthy
you're
because
alive.
you are breathing and you're alive and you have the most beautiful heart. And she put so much pressure on herself. And as her mama, I see me in her. So I'm like, we gotta. So she came to me with that last night and I held her and she cried and she let go. And I was like, okay, this is some deep healing happening.
Seriously, seriously, some untwisting of what the outside world thinks is important to turning that power inward to what we know to be important in our own value. Oh my God, I could die of happiness. I know we have listening right now, Dr. Kelly,
Yes.
so many Gen X women, and you have
Yes.
this really cool thing you talk about the Gen X 10X. Is that right? Do I have it right? Is
Gen
that how
X,
you like to say
10X
it?
movement, revolution.
Okay, we need to talk about
We're
this
leading
because
it.
like my little ears perked up. I'm like, what are we doing? Let's talk about this. I
Okay.
want this thing. Talk to us
We
about
want
what
this
this
thing.
is.
Okay. So I'm going to start with asking you a question. I should have asked you before, but we're just going to go live because we're rolling with it. All right.
Yeah.
Because it starts with a question because this was the seed.
Okay.
Who is your model, a role model for you? So this could be somebody you know, it could be somebody in the media, it could be a fictional character. It doesn't matter who it is, an archetype. Who is your model of divine feminine leadership? And let me preface this.
Mm.
Divine feminine leadership is a woman who is successful in your eyes, and she embodies what it means to be successful in not having to hustle all the time, not burning both ends of this, whatever it's called, the midnight oil. Like she has some grace. She's got some grace. She takes care of herself.
Mm.
Who might be a role model for you?
Having a twofer, if that's
Okay,
okay.
I want to hear. I want to hear.
But I was raised in a very patriarchal society where women were not allowed to work. Forget not work, not allowed. Like your work is at home. That's it. If you work outside the home, you're selfish. And so it's one of the reasons I do what I do now. Right.
Break
So
free, girl. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you.
Sarah shaped hole in the wall from where I grew up. Yes. But Doris Day and her movies in the
Ooh.
60s really had an impact on me of a woman who could be incredibly successful, but still sexy and still vulnerable and still in love, but still powerful. So
Okay, no
that's
one has ever
one.
said that. Let me just say, this is a writer downer. I'm taking notes now because no, I've asked this. I always love to lead with this. Doris
Mm.
Day. All
Doris
right.
Day. And right behind her is actually Audrey Hepburn.
Okay.
Funny enough, but these women who, when women were not quote unquote allowed, right, in the spaces they were occupying, and they did it with
Yes.
such elegance and
Yes.
such grace and
Yes.
so much power. And kind of Lucille Ball is in that as well. She had all of Hollywood wrapped
Yes.
around her little finger in the 50s. What?
No.
And did it by playing a housewife. It's wow. Did you use all the tools available to you to rise into your most feminine power? Yeah, so those, I'm sorry, I lied and said it was a twofer. It's now a threefer.
No, it's a three for.
But
I
like
love that.
it's these women just, and they did it with such elegance, right? No
Such
fight,
elegance. Those are
no
so
hustle,
exactly. Okay,
right?
those are fantastic ones.
Okay.
They're going on the list. I have
Okay.
heard all Peppered, Lucy Ball. I love all of those women are amazing. So here's what I tell you in asking this question, specifically to Gen X women, and let's name who Gen X women are. Women born 1965 to 1980. And then we also have women on the cusp that kind of, it's not like a hard cutoff. It's more
Right.
around if you relate to this messaging. We were born in a culture where our mothers burn their bras, and not
Yes.
physically, like some of our mothers didn't, but there was this like women's empowerment, right? Feminism, women's rights. We fought to have a seat at the table. Now, here's what happened is a lot of these women found their seat at the table, but they found themselves at the seat of the table playing as men.
That's right.
The
Yes.
hustle, the
Yes.
grind. I got to fit in. I'll even wear the tie, right? To look like them, to act like that so that they can see me. Okay.
Yes.
So I feel thank God for our mothers.
Mm-hmm.
And now the Gen Xers are at this like pivotal point where some of these rights are being taken away.
Yeah.
And let's also talk about relationship to money. Women got to choose in that generation. You don't only have to be a doctor, or not a doctor, a secretary, a nurse, or a teacher. Those were your choices
Pretty
for
much.
those
Yeah.
women. And you had your outliers.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel as a culture, we were the latchkey kids, whether you were or not, but there was a lot of independence. It's go out, you can make it, you can be the president of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Like we grew up with this ethos, but we didn't have many role models to show us how to do it in a way that doesn't burn us out, exhaust us, overwhelm us. And so I feel like we are discovering a what it means to lead from the divine feminine and be the leaders and role models that we don't have many to access. So when I ask most Gen X women this, many of them, their mind goes blank. Like they can't even
Mm.
come up with one woman. You came up with three, so I'm really proud of you.
I needed them. I
Right?
desperately needed them.
You
I
needed them.
needed something different from what I was seeing. Yeah, I sought them
Exactly.
out, I think. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my vision is to co-create a collective and a movement and a revolution where we are defining this and creating it
Mm.
because Sarah, what's unique to you will be unique to you. But it's like this commitment of doing it your way in a way
Mm.
that supports you, that nourishes you, that allows you to feel successful and fulfilled, not one or the other. I recently met what I now call a broke billionaire. A
Oh,
broke
I know
millionaire.
what you mean. Yes. Yeah.
So the money's in the account. She knows
Doesn't
how to
matter.
make money, and she knows how to teach women how to make money,
Doesn't
but
matter.
totally unfulfilled.
Yes.
And she was like, I wish I could be a mother and a sister and make
Mm.
Italian dinners.
Yeah.
And so we don't have to choose one or the other. So I feel like we're at the forefront
Mm.
of creating a new type of leadership. And
Yes.
from that leadership, I feel like resource Gen X women have the capacity to change the world,
There's
to
no
have that
question.
social impact.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
we can't do it through the hustle. We can't.
No, it's not going to,
It's
well, it won't
unsustainable.
work. It just won't
It won't
work.
work.
I'm thinking of so many things as you're saying this. Many times in my career, I've talked about God bless our female representatives in the American government, but so many of them have had to turn into men, literally.
Yeah.
You know, that like in order to survive there. God bless them for even stepping into that. Or it's like our mothers. Oh my God, thank you so much for having the courage to do this. And shoot, I don't want us to have to do it that way. Like it's that sort of that combined feeling of thank you and
Yes.
that's not going to work. It's okay. So really taking the time to figure out our own femininity and also honoring, I think, and I think this is really important in your work too, Dr. Kelly, but honoring the power of the feminine and that we don't
Absolutely.
have to
Because
hide it. We can actually use it, you
yeah.
know? Yeah.
And it's been leveraged against us in
Hmm.
and as if you hear in corporate the softer skills of communication, the
Yeah.
softer skills. I'm so tired of hearing
No, no,
that.
no. Those are the most powerful skills you can have, actually. Let's talk about the truth of
Exactly.
that.
It
Nothing else
is
works until that's in place. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Let's tell the
Absolutely.
truth.
Yeah, so it's time to redefine success and wealth and riches in our
Mm.
own terms and lead a revolution of the divine feminine rising. And I have, when we talk about energies, I have a fair amount of masculine energy in me. I climb big mountains, but it doesn't have to run my life.
Mm.
I meditate every day. I do self-care and tune into ritual and all the things that are more energetic and flow-based. And I honor it
I love that.
much, if not more now, because it's so deprived to get me to 10x the impact and to 10x this revolution. I do
Full.
think we can change the world. I know that's a lofty goal, but women, it's time we speak up. Time to
Yes.
speak up and take a stand.
Oh, could you just come over? We'll just hang out all day.
Okay.
I literally just want to hang out all day. Oh my God. I can tell everybody listening, whether they're at the gym driving or like at their desk, they're like, I'm gonna kick some assets today. Let's go.
Kick some
Like
assets. I
I can
love
just
it.
feel it. It's so
Yeah.
good. So good. So, a couple of things as we're wrapping up here. I know you have a free gift for everybody who's listening. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I want people to take advantage of this.
Yes. So the free gift is a human design chart. And for those who are listening that have never heard of it, it basically, imagine this, when you were born, imagine that your mom and your dad were giving a success manual and it was unique to you. And all they had to do was read the manual and tell you it. The problem is no one ever, these manuals were never dispersed. But you know what? The manual lives inside of you, in your DNA, and you have a success blueprint that's unique to you.
Mm.
And the reason you haven't 10x yet is that no one has shown you the manual so that you can get an alignment. And so the first part is like looking at when I went to Mount Kilimanjaro, I had to hire a guide and we had to look at the map and we had to look at where we were going and we had to look at the trail, right? And so this is your compass, this is your
Mm.
roadmap,
Mm.
this is your 10x roadmap. So it's free. And it is the very thing that can make all the difference in the world is just starting with just little, just even just 5% of knowing your success blueprint can make a huge difference. So it's at
Ugh.
queenofworth.com/chart. So that's queenofworth.com/chart. I know it'll be in the show notes. But at the end of the day, it is a roadmap that works every time with every woman that I work with
Mm.
to help get them back into alignment with their truth, with their genius, with
Mm.
their gifts, and understanding how are you meant to 10x? You have
Oh,
gifts that nobody else has.
let's go. Yes, I love this. I love this. Listen, Dr. Kelly, thank you so much for your time today. This has just been absolutely delightful. Like, I really could talk to you for another 3 hours. And as we're wrapping up, if someone's listening right now and they're like, oh, dear heavens, I need me some more Dr. Kelly, where can people find you?
Yeah. The best place probably is in LinkedIn, although I'm on all social platforms and it's at Dr. Kelly Schuh. I'll spell it because no one can spell it. So it's at and it's DrKellySchuh. And I know it's in the show notes. So
It
at
is.
Dr. Kelly Schuh, I'm on LinkedIn and feel free to DM me. And yeah, but I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube. YouTube, it's Worth International, but anyway, at Dr. Kelly Schuh,
Love it.
Instagram. Yeah.
Okay. All right, you guys, we are, if you're watching this on YouTube, all of that information is underneath this video. For those of you listening in, all the information is in the show notes, including the link to that free chart. Dr. Kelly, thank you so much for the work you're doing on this planet. Thank you so much for empowering all of us Gen X women. We so appreciate you. This is absolutely our time. And I, as a human living on the planet right now, am so grateful for what you're doing. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And yes, we will talk more. We're going to have some more coffee talk.
You know it.
You know it.